Hi, my name is Eline, and with this podcast I dive deep into the world of chronic illness. What is living with a chronic illness like? What are ways to redefine your purpose when life hit you so hard? How do people do this? I am on the lookout for answers to find out if there is a way to have a life filled with freedom, joy and happiness, even when it feels like you're a prisoner in your own body. Welcome. To a new episode of the Spoonies Community Podcast. Super happy that you're back here with us. And I'm here again with my co-host, Marcus, my husband.
Hi, everyone.
And we're super excited to be talking about a new subject today,
Yeah,
aren't we?
looking forward to it. It's something that actually I think would be quite interesting for people to dive into as well.
Do you want to introduce it?
No, I'll let you.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about how it was for me to give up on basically the authority and autonomy of my own body, how to move through that, how we have moved through that as a partnership, and the difficulties and the challenges that I faced, that we faced. Yeah, that's basically it, no?
Yeah, and it's kind of not just within the body, it's also the dynamics of the relationship as well, in terms of financial or tasks or anything else. Like, it's all of that split, I think. Yeah. So we get started?
Let's do it.
So how this conversation came about, this topic, was something recently where we were talking about the split of responsibilities around the house and things like that, because for many years of the relationship, unfortunately, I had to take on a lot of those, whether it was doing the washing, cooking, cleaning, anything that was around. And then more recently, you've been able to do more of that. So like we've now kind of split some of those tasks. But you've always been a very independent, strong woman, a little bit rebellious at times. And so I asked you, like, how was that to give up all of those things and just have to let it be that I would be responsible for those? And then there's future topics on this as well.
Yeah, I really grew up, and my mom can confirm this, I know she's listening to the podcast, to be always independent, like earn your own money, keep your own name, you know, like really make sure that you can at all times, no matter what happens in life, that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I really, and it's not only the way that my mom raised me, it's also really within me. My twin sister is exactly the same. Like, we both really want to be on our own, like stand on our own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And from the moment I was able to work, I've always worked. I've always made sure that I have my own money, and I didn't want to be dependent on anyone. And so to move from that, and maybe it was a bit extreme, to the complete opposite, where everything was suddenly out of my control, and I lost all of my independence, physically, emotionally, almost financially, spiritually, like all of the parts. It was really, really tough. And I think up until today, I've come a long way and I've gotten so much better. But up until today, I keep on sometimes still asking you those questions, or also showing you, like, I really want to be standing on my own 2 feet again, pun intended. Yeah, so it was very difficult. Obviously, in the beginning, you don't really realize yet, like, you don't really know what's going on yet. And you think it's like a 6 weeks process and then that's it. At one point, when we were still living in London and all my savings went to Ubers to get from home to another therapy session, it is starting to become, the gap starts to become bigger. With that also comes, especially in terms of finances, that I've not been able to work for many, many years. And those were the years that you made huge leaps and jumps in your career. And so our income started to also be completely different. Like, there's a huge discrepancy between our incomes. And so I think we have had to manage that process and the differences, and had to talk about that a lot. And it's been a long journey. Also, when it comes to that, like a long journey of growth, I think I'm a lot more relaxed in that now, in terms of, I know I can lean on you. And you also really ask me to lean on you. In certain moments and certain bits. But it does pain me when I've had a really long day and I'm not able to cook anymore. And I know you also had a really long day and you then still need to cook. For example.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not been easy with those parts, but I think I know so much that you're going through that if you could help, then you would. I don't, and I think this is something that you struggle with even to the day, I need some more lemon ginger tea, to today, is that if you are feeling really tired and if you're not feeling well and you're on the sofa or couch or something and laying down and then I'm there cooking, you feel really guilty, but also like, I am really not that well and I would help you if I could, when I know that is the case. But I think you still struggle with explaining yourself when you don't need to be explained, and saying sorry when you don't need to say sorry, and feeling guilty when you don't need to feel guilty. Like all of those things come through. And I know that you would help in doing things if you can.
But then what about that point where I say, you know, you're also tired, and I see that you're also tired?
Yeah, I think then part of me is like, I still need to go and do it. Like, I am tired, but at the end of the day, I can get over that tiredness to make some food or do something else. It's not like I'm asking to run a marathon or anything. It's about cooking something simple. Difficult for me because I love to cook, so I don't ever want to just cook something simple. Yeah. But in those situations, sometimes I'll also say to you, hey, we've got a pizza in the freezer. Should I put that on? Because I really have no energy to do anything today. Or if it's late with calls, then I will prep earlier in the day or the day before, knowing that that's going to be the case so that something can be heated up. I think going back to the topic, we talked about the financial side. For you, I know it's been a difficult part of this because you had so much of your own finances. And then to lean on me in those situations, even to today, you would never ask me for money if you can help it. Which I admire, but I also think is, stupid because we're in a relationship, married, been together for years. What's mine is yours. But you still struggle with that. Is that because of do you think it has any impact from the injury, or do you think that's something else? Like, why do you think it is that you struggle with that?
I do think it is because of my own values, and I want to, earning money or working and getting something in return doesn't even have to be money, but getting something in return also does something to your self-esteem. And to me, asking for money, I've always struggled with that. Also, when I was younger, like asking money from my parents, I've struggled with that. And it's because I want to do it myself, and I want to prove to the world that I can do it by myself. And so, I know that I don't earn the income that I would have or could have had it not been for the injury.
Yeah.
And it's also that I think there's an underlying fear of like, what do you think of that? Because that's not the girl that you fell in love with almost 10 years ago.
Well, you are still the girl that I fell in love with 10 years ago. And if anything, over those years, it's got more and more. We were still in the we'd been together for, how long have we been together? 18
9
months?
years.
No.
Oh, back then.
When the first injury?
Yeah, a little bit under 18 months.
Under 18 months. I mean, it's still an early relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, we were in love and yes, we were happy, but it was still loads to find out about each other. And over these years, I say this to some people, at times I'm grateful for the accidents because we have been able to learn so much more about each other and feel and connect way more than other couples can because we've been through those things. And because we can talk and put it on a podcast and have an open conversation, because we've been through those situations where we've just learned a hell of a lot about each other. So my love for you has grown every single time through it. Yes, it's difficult, but I love you more when I see you being sick. I love you more when I see you needing my help to, in the early days, shave your legs or something because you couldn't do it. Or now watching you being able to walk instead of what was happening 18 months ago where you couldn't. Those are things that just are way more than what I think we would have had if the accident had not happened. Yeah. Because we had to grow and we had to be open. You know what I think?
Yeah, I think it's really sweet that you say that.
But it's true. I'm not just saying it. I mean, it's completely true. I mean, also, this accident has taken us across the world. I moved to Amsterdam. We've moved now to Spain. This may not have happened because I remember when we were living in London and the accident was happening, we were looking at flats there. Yeah. Life would have been completely different. And I mean, now I couldn't imagine our life anywhere else where we are. It's so perfect for us. Sorry, everyone, but it is. Yeah, so I just think that although it's difficult, God and everything we could have possibly wanted, we've had to just go through a lot of difficult things to get there.
And I'm going to ask you a similar question to what I asked you in the last podcast. Don't you ever think, God, if she, she could just make herself a slice of bread for lunch? Or why can she now record a podcast and not make me dinner for tonight?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's moments where, even today, I'm going to give you an example. This happened like 20 minutes ago. I was making lunch, or I was going to make lunch for you, and I was making soup because we had some that was already warmed up, and then you wanted bread with some Dutch cheese on it, and I asked, can you cut the cheese? And you were like, no, and then I was like, okay. I was like, I just wanted you to cut the cheese, but I know the reason why. But I was like, oh, could you not have just done the cheese? Like, I'm not asking you to cook a Sunday roast. I just want you to cut the cheese. Like, in those moments, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I know it's...
I love this honesty.
Because it's such a small thing. And also for me, is like, you know me, I've struggled for years to also ask for help.
Yeah.
Or ask for you to do something.
Yeah.
Because I've known for so many years that you were not capable of doing those. So then it would be a stretch for me sometimes to be like, okay, could you do this? And then if you say no, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have asked her. Now she's going to feel guilty. Now it's going to be on her mind because she's now annoyed that she can't do it, that she's had to say no, and I still have to do it. So now I've started this whole thing. And then like over the next day, we're going to have a conversation together to talk about this moment where I asked and you said no. So because of those moments, I've then kept quiet by not asking, which is not good for me or us.
No, because we had, after the second accident, big, not discussion, like conversation, like a discussion about that. Like,
what would
we
we
need
change?
to change some things around. Can you take me through the things that you changed around compared to the first accident? Yeah.
So the first accident, I took on the carry-on mentality of a British person. Keep on and carry on, was it? I can't remember. Someone will have to look it up on Google.
Keep going.
Keep calm and carry on.
Keep calm and,
one of those. And I was doing everything. I would, that time, I think we talked about it on one of the podcasts, like I was working in London, but I was also working across a Japan time zone. So I was having to wake up at 4 a.m, take some calls. Then I would go into the office, which was an hour commute. Make sure you had breakfast because you couldn't get up and go to the toilet. No. We had steps, so you couldn't go. So I'd help you go to the toilet, carry you there, make sure you had food and everything around you and drinks. I would go into the office from 6:30, 7 until 10. I'd then rush home, help you go to the toilet because you've been holding it in probably, then make you some lunch. I'd then rush back to the office. I'd work in the afternoon, rush back. So I was just doing everything. I was then taking you to your appointments. I was taking you to your physio because I also didn't have my family around in London. No. You didn't have your family. Our friends lived in North and I lived in South. So the long part of the story is I was doing everything and I didn't ask for help. People would say, oh, it must be too much for you. And I was like, no, it's fine. And then the second accident, I realized, well, let's take a step back. I started seeing a psychologist before the second accident because I needed to speak to someone about it. And also for me to figure out what are the new dynamics of our relationship around intimacy, around work, around careers, children, etc. Not that any of it was in doubt for me, but I really wanted to just understand, if I feel guilty, why am I feeling guilty? Or if I want this, then what does that mean? So I needed to speak to someone impartial. And then she told me that I was doing too much. And so with the second accident, you said to me as well, you need to ask for more. And because of that, we realized that we had your community around you. We had your family. We had your friends that were there. Yeah. And that I needed to also have time for myself, which meant going to the office, because I was just starting a new job, and being okay at being in the office all day. Or if there was an evening drinks that I could go, and I would go for like an hour, but I would feel so guilty that I would come home and wouldn't do these things. But I just knew that it was better for you and for me. Your friends wanted to help. Your family wanted to be there for you. They wanted to come and spend time with you. You didn't want to have to see me all day, every day either. It was also good.
I love that though.
Yeah, but you also get sick of seeing me all the time because you're in these same walls. Yeah. And so I think that was really difficult. So I think just for me, the turning point was just knowing this is better for our relationship. It's better for me mentally and my health. It's better for you. And let's just try and do it. So I don't think there was one thing. I just knew that I had to change something.
Yeah.
And I remember that moment, I don't know if this was just after or just before the second accident, where I forgot everything.
Before.
So it was before the second accident. I took Aline for a weekend away in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It was like a lodge thing. And it was to get some new space for you, because you'd been...
To be between 4 different walls.
4 different walls. And whilst we were there, I went and played golf. I was like, okay, this is great. I'm going to go out, I'm going to play golf. And I get on the golf course and I start to just have these blurred moments. I'm looking down at the golf ball. It's looking a little bit blurry to me. I'm a little bit lost. I was like, I don't know what's kind of going on. And I was playing by myself and I thought, this is great. I've got fresh air, nice and calm. And as the round continues, I start having this blurred look on most of the shots I was doing. And then I started to think about people and I was like, I couldn't remember the names. No. I couldn't remember your sister's names.
Your manager.
Couldn't remember my manager at the time's name. People that I was working with. I could remember your name, but I couldn't remember your surname. And I just had this moment where I was completely lost and I was in panic just on the golf course with no one around me. And I couldn't remember anything. I didn't know how I got there. And so I came off the golf course and I was wondering, how am I going to get home? Because I had a rental car as well. I didn't know how to look on my phone, and thankfully...
You didn't remember your passcode?
I didn't remember my passcode on the phone. And thankfully, I remembered what the car was because it had a rental sticker on it. And I opened up the car, and then in the car, it had sat-nav to a location that was close by. And I was like, that must be where we are staying. And I remember I got home and I explained this to you, and you're like, it sounds like you're having... what was the word you said?
Burnout?
Yeah, burnout and anxiety as well, because I was hyperventilating and stuff. And I think because of that, I started to also realize how important it was for me to, one, go out and get fresh air and get time for myself, but also that I was doing too much. Like I was getting close to a burnout. If not, I was in one and I just hadn't realized it.
Exactly. Just explain why we talk about this in the subject of what we're talking is because it's not only me who lost autonomy over my body and finances and stuff like that. You also lost autonomy over a big part of your life by being a carer for me. And this was a really massive turning point for you to realize I need to ask for more help, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my life would, those 6 years or 5 years that went through even that period, I stopped doing almost everything that I enjoyed. I wasn't going out to see friends. I wasn't traveling. I wasn't, these are all luxury things to do, like traveling and things like that. But I just also wasn't doing the simple things like going to the gym to try and do exercise. And I think that's super important for anyone, I think, going through something like this, that you need fresh air, you need a release, you need exercise. And
you need the things that are good for your mental state.
Yeah, and for me, that was that.
Playing golf, seeing some people.
Yeah.
Have time by yourself. Go to the gym regularly.
Go for walks. Yeah, for me, it was silence and fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
That was it. Silence and fresh air was what I needed, and to move my body. But yeah, we went through, it was a difficult period that time, but that part really emphasized why we had to make a change. Like, it was necessary for us.
And so what were the changes that you made after the second accident, like practically? Imagine someone is in that situation right now. What were changes that you did after my second accident?
Started to speak to a psychologist more regularly. Not like every week, because I didn't feel comfortable to me, but I think it was like once a month it was starting with, and then it would change a little bit. Yeah. I set up a WhatsApp group with your friends and family, which was like Alina's aftercare service, I think.
Dog service.
That was it. And from that, it was getting up a routine of who would come and see you in a morning or in a lunch or in an evening if I was doing something. Because at that point, you couldn't walk to the kitchen to get yourself food.
No, or to the toilet.
Or anything like that. So it was trying to get people to be available to come and support you with that. Thankfully, we were still going through COVID kind of time, so I was still not having to be in the office all the time, so I could be at home. But setting up that routine of knowing when, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're covered. Tuesday, Thursday, I need to be at home.
Yeah.
Your family was good at this. I was having conversations with them as well and talking more about it and asking them to support in certain ways. People would offer to cook for us, bring food across. And that would have been, I think, useful for someone else if it wasn't me, because I love cooking.
Cooking for you is like meditation.
Yeah, it's like meditation. I really enjoy, it relaxes me, it calms me, it gives me something to do, and I get into a very meditative state by doing it. So I think other people would probably get way more out of getting a cooking care service coming through.
Like a food train.
Yeah, but not me. I enjoyed that side. I can't remember what else.
Well, you took your Fridays off for a while with work?
Yeah, true. They didn't know about that. But
they did? Half a day?
That was an unofficial half a day. I don't work there anymore, so it's okay.
Sorry. I thought they knew about the Friday half days.
No. That was me planning my diary so that I had no calls on Fridays. And I would try and... don't work there anymore. And I would do it so that most of my calls were happening Monday to Thursday, or they would happen a lot when I was in the office, like the Tuesday, Thursday. And then the Friday morning, if something had to happen, I had the space to do it, but I would try and keep that free to play golf, to exercise, just to rest my mind, because I knew that on the Saturday and the Sunday, I'd be looking after you again. And you would then want to be out of the house because it was your only opportunity to get out of the house and do something. So I knew I would have this little puppy at the window.
I really was like that.
Like waiting, like, oh, you're home, let's go do something. And during the week, I was just exhausted. Yeah. And if it was winter time, it was dark, it was wet, it was cold. Like there was no chance it was going to happen. But in the summer periods, this was your moment to get out. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I know I need to have energy for Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. And have a plan and go and do stuff. So I think that was also a big part of it. Yeah. And it worked well. Yeah,
it really works well. I think these are really useful tips for anyone going through it right now. Like, I think we underestimate how much a carer is taking on, especially if you also have a job next to it. Yeah. I think it's also a really beautiful conversations to have with employers. Yeah. But I think these are really useful tips for anyone who is in the situation right now. Have this conversation with your partner. Figure out what it is that they need for them. And also, it's not only about figuring out, but give them permission to do what they need to do for themselves. Yeah. I really think that you needed the permission as well. Mm-hmm. Not that I am dominating in this relationship and that I tell you what to do, but knowing you would have not allowed yourself to do that if it wasn't for me saying you have to do this. No, you came first in anything. You came first, second and third. Yeah, and I think, to be very honest, up until today, that's still the case for you, you know? Yeah, 100%. Maybe you're first and second. Yeah, maybe the third now. Maybe third is coming to myself a little bit. No, but even to today, I would still prioritise, whatever you need. And that's beautiful, and at the same time, sometimes, I'm going to be very honest with you, it's also difficult. I know it is. I know. Yeah. Sometimes I don't have a choice in it, though. Near you. Both. There's a duck, I think, just quite. Definitely got to edit that out. You're not allowed to, sorry. It's also a healthy relationship. Yeah. No, I know, and it's I get it. Even to this point today, there is still it's not an equal relationship in terms of all of the stuff that happens. Yeah. But I do not care about that. No, that's very lief. But I don't talk about it with friends and family like, oh, I've got to do this for like it doesn't cross my mind. No. At all. Because I just because you're not able to do the cooking or cleaning, you do so much other stuff. And if you could, you would do those things. Yeah. Like I know that you're on the phone to the Spanish water company talking to them about our bill because I can't do it because they don't speak English and I don't speak very good Spanish. So I know that you've got to do those things, or you've got to speak to our cleaner to get her to come because again she doesn't speak English, or there's something back with the Dutch government that I need to fix with the taxes, and again I don't speak Dutch, so you need to come and do that. It's not just the translation part, but those things you are doing, like you are planning. And so I see all of those tasks that you do, and then you'll try and do as much as you can within the realms of what you're able to in other parts of the relationship. Yeah, I do miss cooking together. It's just like standing that long on my feet. I know. It's still very... Yeah, it's too much. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not that fun to do because I also know you're in pain right now. You want to finish. Yeah. And it's not like how it used to be. It will get there, but it's easier for us to do something together that is not that. Puzzle. We do puzzles now. We're getting old.
So we have a puzzle that we do.
Yeah.
I know it's not the dinner or things like that, but that is something we can do together. And you do the washing now.
I also do the washing.
Yeah.
Very proud of that.
And one thing that annoyed me about this, I'm going to share with everyone. Our neighbours and other people had come round to the house and was like, oh, it's such a woman's task doing all the washing. And I was like, you deep. I'm like, I've just been doing this for the last 8 years.
But I also said that to them.
I know
was like,
you did.
No.
Yeah.
Marcus has been doing this for 8 years straight.
That was the one thing that annoyed me. I was just like, absolute. I was like, no, okay. We don't split tasks by
Gender,
male and female and what they should or shouldn't be doing.
No.
Like, I will do the cleaning and the washing and you can do the cooking. Like, we would split it as much as we can. But yeah, that one annoyed me. I was like, absolute boss.
But I really stood up for you because I was like,
it.
no, Marcus has done the laundry for 8 years.
Yeah. One thing, you say thank you all the time for stuff that I do, which is very sweet. But I'm trying to think of the right question here. Do you do that out of guilt or out of like appreciation?
Both.
Yeah, I thought so.
It depends on which moment of the day it is. Usually during the day it's out of appreciation.
Yeah.
Evening is usually out of guilt.
Yeah.
And appreciation. Because I do really, if I say thank you, like I really mean it.
Yeah.
Like I really appreciate everything that you do for me. That's a standard. And for us as well. I think that's actually, this is very interesting. I think this is a thing. I think in my head, it's things that you're doing for me. And now I hear myself correcting it, saying for us.
Yeah,
and it's
for
like,
us.
oh yeah, wait, but you're also doing this for us, for both of us.
Yeah, that's why it annoys me when you say it, because I'm like, you don't need to say thank you. I'm not doing this just for you. This is a normal, just everyday task.
Interesting.
Like, I don't need someone to say thank you to me for them. Unless it's above and beyond, or the occasional one, great, thanks, appreciate it. But I don't need it all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like today, I cleaned up, we've got a fireplace over behind, and we store all the wood there, and then many parts of the wood come off, and I hoovered it up. And that would be a task that I'm doing for us.
Yeah.
But you would say thank you for that.
Yeah, 100%.
I know, but you don't need to. That's a household task.
Okay, oh, that's interesting.
Me making you a cup of tea, that's a thank you. Because if it's just for you, that's when those occasions happen. Yeah. If I'm making two, which I did for this podcast, I don't need one for that because I'm making one for myself anyway.
Okay.
If it's us stuff, both of us, not needed. And even if it's individual ones, no, it is needed every time. I'm very British with this. Please and thank yous are very important. Yeah. And you do it, but I'm saying you don't need to do it for everything.
Interesting. I'll try and be aware of it. But usually in the evenings, it's out of guilt. Because then I really can't do anything anymore. I'm just pooped. And then I do it then it is out of guilt as well. Of like, oh, I wish I would be able to do this for you. Yeah,
I know. And I know you will. Now we have a rule. Not even a rule. If Aline wants a tea, she'll be like, I'll put the kettle on if you make it. That's our way of equaling things out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I think I got the short end of the straw with this. But but it's kind of an example of where we're trying to make things more equal. And share responsibilities rather than just being on one. It's like, I'll put it on, you make it. Or I'll finish it.
Yeah. Very true.
Innit?
Yeah.
Innit?
How was it for you let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
To see me in a physical state where I'm not able to physically take care of myself, and I do mean the
washing, bathing, toilet, etc.
moments.
It didn't feel like I was doing it for my girlfriend or partner at the time. It almost felt like I was a carer, and what I was doing was for a different person that wasn't my partner at that time. Does that make sense? And I'm trying to explain it. So, like, helping you go to the toilet and things, immediately just thought of, I'm doing this for this different person that's not able to move, that is disabled, and actually this is not who I was with. So I'm trying to figure this out and adapt, and like, who is this person?
Do you mean you're stepping into a role?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. Like, I was stepping into carer role for this person that I've been asked to care for.
Yeah.
And that was weird for the first few weeks. And I didn't like it. And then I consciously was saying to myself, this is your future wife, your partner, etc. Like, this could be like this for a very long time. Try and find the beauty in it as well, and the love in it.
Yeah.
Rather than it being a task.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me long. It only took me a few weeks where I was like, actually like shaving your legs, like when you couldn't. I was like, this is actually a really beautiful thing to be doing.
Yeah.
Or like helping you bathe, or helping you be sick over the toilet or something, or carrying you to the toilet because you physically couldn't move anymore because you were so tired, and I would carry you to the toilet and make you there. And like, then you would faint, I'd be holding you and stuff. And then I think at all of those moments, then I was like, I love you even more because of this, you know? I don't know. That's what it felt like. Because then I really I've really had to just look after you. And I think that caring side made it even more special. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think...
I'm not very good at describing things.
No, you are. It makes sense because I guess you see me in really the most vulnerable position ever. You can't really be, in my opinion, more vulnerable than sitting on the toilet, throwing up and fainting at the same time. Like, there is not a more raw human moment.
I'm going to say this because it was a really funny moment, but you might hate me and kill me for it later. I remember a moment when you were sat on the toilet and you were sick, you pooped, and you hadn't got your pants down or something, you weed yourself at the same time, and I was like, oh my God. So I literally had to clear up. And then you weren't really on the toilet, so I was literally cleaning up everything in and around it. And I was like, wow, this is extreme.
Literally everything. It's like the most human role.
Yeah.
I remember the one time that was after my second accident where I really needed to go to the toilet suddenly, quickly. And whilst in the wheelchair, you were like racing me to the toilet, and I told you already, it was like, I'm gonna faint.
Yeah.
And then you kind of carried me on the toilet.
Yeah.
And apparently, and we only found out afterwards, like I was weeing already before I actually sat on the toilet.
Yeah.
And then you basically stood up to, you let me go, but like you just basically like let me go to have some space to go for a wee.
Yeah.
And at that moment I fainted.
Yeah.
Like I was just suddenly, like I was sitting, but I was suddenly basically, well, I can't remember. You need to tell this story because I can't remember. But I remember waking up, leaning against your tummy while you were standing next to me.
I managed to catch you because then you kind of leant forward and I caught you, and then you were leaning to the side and you were basically, as if you were asleep. Yeah, you were faint on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's happened a few times. The fainting bit really scared me because I didn't know what it was from. Because it could have been from pain. It could have been the fact that you weren't eating very much. I mean, after your first accident, you lost, I don't know how many kilos.
Yeah, probably like, I think between 10 and 15 kilos.
You were like
within 2 months.
You were like a stick. You were just eating rice crackers. No, it wasn't rice crackers. What was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Oh, those other ones. Tux.
Yes.
You were eating Tux non-stop. And I was like, this is not a diet for you, but you just couldn't eat anything.
No.
But you were so thin and you were so fragile. I think that also impacted later on.
Yeah, and I think my whole body was just so out of whack.
Yeah, completely.
You know, I mean, it was obviously after the whole hospital thing. For anyone who's just tuning in, go back to the first episode because that's where you hear the whole story about that. Going back to like the caring part in terms of like shaving my leg and stuff. I always felt that you've done that with so much care and love, and you know, it sounds heavy, but we also made it fun.
Yeah, we tried to,
joking around and not taking it too seriously, and you know, also joking like, okay, well, if we have a little girl, maybe at one point in our lives, at least you know how to comb her hair, or you know. Yeah,
I was learning lots, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was always caring for it, but I think those moments were also really hard because my tasks like magnified so much. In terms of, I'm now not just cooking for you, like I'm not just making you breakfast or I'm taking you to an appointment. Now it is doing all of those normal routines that need to get done. And then that was going then throughout the whole day. So our day was getting longer to do it. Yeah. I think that was the tough part. It feels like 20 years ago that happened.
Yeah. It's not that long ago, Liefje.
No, I know, but it feels like it. Yeah, and I mean, now, you know, I don't help you with any of those things. You're up and about and walking around and literally got your life thriving. I mean, you know, we talk very lovingly about it, but I am happy that I can go to the toilet by myself. I'm very happy about that, yeah.
Like, it is giving up that part of privacy.
I still do need to help you sometimes get into the shower.
Oh, 100%.
Which people wouldn't know. You would just
True.
think it's normal. It's like, no, I still need to help you. I'd not help you in and out as much now, but if we go to a new place, I would. But now, if you forget something, you can't just get out of the shower, get your razor, get your hair towel and come back. Like, you call me to then go and get those things, which happens every single time because you never remember it.
I really try to remember, to get all my stuff, but it's difficult.
It doesn't happen. No. But it's not easy for you to just step out and step back in.
No, true. You are helping me with that. But I am happy I have a bit of that.
100%. Me too.
Dignity and privacy.
And I don't worry about it as much anymore. No. I used to worry like hell when you were going into a shower by yourself or getting into the bath by yourself. Getting out, because I'm like, is the floor slippery? What's it like? Are you going to be able to walk? That was also part of like walking you to and from the bathroom as well. It was a lot. But I'm very happy you've got that privacy back. Yeah,
it's quite funny, right? Because people would think that is the hardest part to give up in terms of your autonomy and your privacy. At least that's how I've experienced conversations. Oh my God, you can't go to the toilet by yourself. What was that like? I mean, true, if you need to go for a poo and you have your friend sitting next to you, literally next to the toilet, holding your leg up, because that was the situation. That's not fun. I can tell you that is not fun. But again, you do laugh about it, and the people that are there love you so much. And I remember I told them all the time, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. If I think back about that, that does hurt a little bit. Oh God. Yeah. Like, they really had to experience all of that. And I know they don't mind. If you ask them today, I know they don't mind, but that is difficult.
I completely get it.
And at the same time, for me, that wasn't the most difficult part.
No? What was?
Yeah, I think that to me, the bigger thing, so not necessarily the physical thing, because I really couldn't do it by myself.
No, you couldn't.
I really couldn't. So it was something that I was very clear, either I'm going to fight this, but I didn't have the energy to fight it. I just didn't. So the only thing I could do was surrender to it. Mm-hmm. And so if you ask me what was the hardest, I think for me it was that part of letting go of that ambitious side of me, letting go of the financial part, having to lean on you for all of those things, because to me that felt less, how do you say that, less something you would always do. Yeah. If you were not able to go to the toilet, of course I would help you to go to the toilet. That's something that you don't even think about, because you would help someone, or if you broke your leg, please no, knock on wood. But then of course I would, make sure that there's food on the table. But those bigger things, it's not bigger, the less tangible things, the things that are not as much in your face, I think those I found more difficult to let go, because I always had that voice in my head, why can't you do this? Why won't you be able to do this? Etc., etc., etc.
Do you not think it helped? This might help people as well that go through the situation. With the finances, what we decided to do was, when you started to get an income from whatever the means were, you would give up a third of that, and I would give up a third of mine, to then make it equal that we were both doing a third of what we were earning to pay for rent and bills and everything else. Did that help in your mindset? Because that's why we did it, so that it would feel a little bit more equal in terms of what your share was, you were contributing a third of it, for example. In ratio.
Yeah, it did help. It did help a little bit. And there's one thing that helped me a lot was when, this was actually quite funny, you would send me some money every month, a little bit, and I would send it back. And then what you would do is you would send me more. Yeah. And you told me, if you keep on sending, every time you send it back to me, I'm going to send you more. And that really helped me, because I was like, I don't want more.
Yeah, I know. It really annoyed you, but I knew it would work. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that those little things helped you a little bit, with it. Yeah. Or, if we would go shopping, then I would buy it, which never happened, but then I would buy you something for shopping because I knew you didn't have the funds to do it. Yeah. So that it would feel more equal then on the stuff like rent and bills and food and stuff.
Yeah, and I think this is maybe just a very personal thing. I'm not sure how other people, think about this or have this as well. But yeah, that was my biggest struggle. I can't say that I am fully fine with it yet, but I am so much more relaxed into it right now than I was before.
Way more.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it feels a lot better place equally between us because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel as guilty about it
No.
from my side that I have more than what you have,
Yeah.
which I did. I felt guilty because of it.
Yeah.
And then I would keep on trying to give you some to be like, make it feel more equal or better. But I think it feels in a much better place now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like a good place to stop.
I think we touched upon
A lot.
a lot of the...
I think I rambled.
No, you didn't.
Hopefully everyone else understood what I was going on
You
about.
definitely didn't ramble.
Okay.
If there are any questions around this topic, please feel free to send me or us, well, me a DM. If you send it to me and you have a question to Marcus, I'll make sure it gets to you. Send me a DM on Instagram. Please leave a comment below the episode to let us know what you thought of it.
And a like.
And a like. And if you have anything that you want us to discuss, also more than welcome to have in...
Yeah, more discussions, more topics. Yeah. We'd love it.
Exactly. And also one last question for you to rate the show before you leave this episode. If you haven't done it yet, that will really, really help us to get this story out to more people who need some help and support.
Yeah. Let's go for number 1, podcast.
Yes. I was like, what? Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you soon.